Hi everyone. We're excited to make this video on what is neurodiversity. My name is Sam and I'm autistic and I'm also an autism researcher.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacqueline, and I am an autistic occupational therapist.
So what is neurodiversity? Neurodiversity means that people have different brains and different ways of seeing the world. We might have different hobbies and different interests from each other and different ways that we like to talk or communicate with other people. So for example, Um, people have different ways of enjoying music. Some people might really like loud music and they find that to be exciting, but other people might think that loud music is too noisy or overwhelming for them.
So, neurodiversity might be seen as differences across the way people are and the way people act. So, some people might be bullied because of the way their brain works. And those people might be seen as too different and unfortunately made fun of for that because others don't understand the way they think or act or learn. And those people might be called neurodivergent. So, for example, we're going to call the person James. He might like to sit still, whereas Ella might like to flap her hands. All right. So, it might just depend on the setting they're in, the people they're around, and that might be what makes them the most comfortable. So James probably will not experience bullying for sitting still, but Ella might experience bullying for flapping her hands. And again, they just have different ways of responding to the environment around them.
And neurodiversity or these differences actually make the world a better place. So even though Ella might be bullied in that example for flapping her hands, it's not her fault. In fact, what she's doing is probably really valuable for her. Flapping your hands can be calming. It can sometimes help people learn. And it can just be something that someone wants to do. So if you're being treated badly for the way your brain works, it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you at all. And a quote here says, "You are okay the way you are. Your brain is beautiful."
So, having different ways of thinking and learning and being can actually make the world a better place. It's similar to the way that the earth needs all different species of animals and plants in order to thrive. Humanity needs all different ways of being. And when we work together, we can really help each other because everyone has different strengths and challenges that they can bring to the world. And it would be actually kind of boring if everyone thought the same or looked the same.
Yeah, exactly. And one example of this is if you're working on a team project, whether that's in a classroom or somewhere else. If you're working with a team and everyone thinks exactly the same and everyone wants to be the leader, that can be challenging. Instead, it can be helpful to have people with different strengths and interests on the project. So maybe one person might be a natural team leader, another person might really help the team to stay organized and focused. And maybe another person likes another part of the work, like doing the writing or fixing some computer problems. So just to give a personal example of how differences can appear in someone's life, I have really strong interests and I can talk about my interests for a really long time. So growing up, one of my interests was the Lord of the Rings. I've also had interests in other topics. And people would think it was a little bit weird that I could talk about these interests for so long. And even though sometimes that could bring challenges, these interests could also bring a lot of happiness. And if I met other people with the same interest, it would give us something to talk about and something to connect over. And so that was a really positive and exciting aspect as well.
So, my example is a way that my neurodivergence has made things hard for me in some ways. So growing up, math was always hard for me. If you asked me to do a long division problem right now, I really don't know if I could do it. Um, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to fail in life or that I'm broken or anything like that. Um, I ended up figuring out a career and a life that did not involve doing any math on a day-to-day basis. And also there's things like calculators, which can help me. Um, and so, yeah, I chose to pursue a life that aligned with the things that I was good at and the things that I enjoyed. And I definitely encourage all neurodivergent people to really focus on those strengths. All right, so here's just some reminders of things that every person deserves, both neurotypical and neurodivergent people. The first one is time to rest and reset. Life can be overwhelming. The number two is opportunities to be a part of community and to experience a sense of belonging. Number three is having choice over how you spend your time and maybe who you spend your time with. And the last one is that everyone deserves to feel safe and to feel respected for who they are and to be their authentic self. No one should have to deal with being bullied for being different.
And you also always have the right to stand up for yourself. So if people are giving you a hard time for the way you communicate, you can advocate for yourself. So um, for myself, I can listen better to people if I don't make eye contact. I find it kind of stressful to make eye contact with people. Sometimes people will ask me to make eye contact with them. And once in a while, someone will even make me feel guilty for not making eye contact, or will try to force me to make eye contact with them. Um, so some options are I can always explain to the person why I'm not making eye contact, and that can help them understand. If they don't respect that, or if it's too stressful, I can also choose to spend less time with the person. Or if I want to explain to them, but I don't have the energy to explain myself, I can send them a book or a video or an article that can help them understand autism. And the way that you stand up for yourself might be different. These are just some options, but you always have the right to be with people who make you feel safe for the way that you're communicating, and who are always open to listening to you as well. So thank you very much for listening to our video, and hopefully we'll be making more videos like this in the future as well.